Okay, there used to be a shelf right there between the TD12 drum module and the 2400 console, and I stole it so that I could put the Electribe 2 on it, and you can see there she is, and that is mounted to this, what used to be drum throne, just the stand part, and that makes for a pretty stable mount so that it actually is really strong and doesn't move around at all. So that makes for a really good place for the Electribe, conveniently located and stable mount. However, that means that the unit that was there, where it used to be, didn't have a home anymore. So have to create a new home for it. And of course, being that the studio is pretty tight these days, that's a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so I made this thing out of a piece of aluminum round stock. I could not find a piece that would fit into one of these guys. So I had to turn it down on the lathe. And then I flattened out a portion of the end here, put two holes, and threaded them with threads for these screws, so that I can then, this will fit right under these bars that are part of the drum kit, so I can then have this protruding out from the drum kit and a spot where I can bolt a shelf. It's not super refined, but I think it'll do the job. Okay, got the whole thing kind of built-ish. So, still have these screw heads protruding. I have to do something to build this up so that those are recessed, but it's good enough size for the equipment it needs to hold. And it's a little bit heavier than a drum pad, but you're not going to be hitting it with sticks. I'm hoping that it's going to be okay. And I'm probably going to mount it so that it's this way, so it's not going to be swinging down by its weight. I think it's going to work. So this foam I found, cut it so that it fits perfectly, and then I've got a couple of holes so that it locks into these bolt heads here, and gives you a nice surface for your equipment to sit on. Let's see if it works. Alright, so there it is. It's kind of tucked away in there a little bit underneath the keyboard, but I don't really need to get at it very much. I just have to be able to reach in there and push the buttons, and it should be fine, and it's stable. And you can see I have back here it mounted to this bar that the HBD20 is on, mounted to, and that there's your aluminum bar there, comes out to my shelf, my foam on there, and this is locked in pretty good. It also gives me enough room for my little transpose box there to sit on as well. So it's a successful project. Also, I also have a new addition to the studio as well, the MIDI timepiece, Mark of the Unicorn MIDI timepiece AV unit. This is pretty cool, and it works, but it has a dead battery, so every time I turn it off, it loses its mind. It also has kind of a bad screen here. Now, I think I have a screen for this, and I can certainly replace the battery. So upcoming, there will be a video at least replacing the battery, but possibly also replacing that screen. It's not too bad. You can see that you can actually read. For the most part, you can read it. So it's not too bad, and I might not bother. But definitely going to do the battery because I need to be able to save my settings so I don't have to make my MIDI routings fresh every time I turn it on. But the shelf was definitely successful.